Hey guys, my name is Matsimio, and today we've learned some new information about one of the new operators that is going to be coming to Rainbow Six Siege with this new season, and her name is Dokkaebi, or I believe that is translated to the Goblin. And so the first thing that we know about her is that she is going to have access to the MK14 marksman rifle and the BOSG-12 shotgun. Now, what's interesting about this is that she only has access to a DMR and a shotgun. I think this is the first time that Ubisoft has ever done something like this for a new operator because there's no fully automatic in that description. This could have some interesting repercussions on her popularity and potentially her effectiveness. Most people, I feel, gravitate away from the DMRs. There are some people that love them. I know there are some players out there that actually use these all the time and they're their preferred weapon of choice in Siege, but I think most people would rather use the fully automatic counterparts. Because in this game, every weapon hits really hard as long as you smack someone in the face. It doesn't really matter that you do a lot of body damage with a DMR because most people would rather just put a bunch of shots around someone's head region and then win the firefight that way, and it's usually just more effective. Now, what could make her incredibly versatile though, and alleviate some fears because people don't want to use DMRs or shotguns for an attacking operator, she will have access to two fully automatic secondary weapons. She'll have access to the C75 Auto and the SMG-12, I guess the upgraded version of the SMG-11. And so if these two secondaries are anything like the SMG-11 or even better than that, she could be a force to be reckoned with because she's going to have a lot of versatility. If things are up close and personal, you know, guys just around the corner, switching over to your secondary weapon and you're going to have a bullet hose. If you know that things are going to be a little more long range, then switch on over to your DMR and dispatch of them that way. She's not going to have a lot of weaknesses as long as both of them are at least halfway decent. And so I'm really curious to see how all of this is going to play out in the long run. I like the fact that Ubisoft is taking some risks here. This is the very first time they've ever done something like this for a new operator, but is it going to have any repercussions on her popularity? Like I said, a lot of people just don't like using DMRs in Rainbow Six Siege. It's not their preferred weapon, and because that seems to be her only long-range weapon of choice, is she going to share the same fate as Ying did? Ying, when she was first introduced, she had the honeymoon phase, of course, where everyone was playing her for a couple of weeks because she was a brand new operator, but then after that, people gravitated away because they just weren't satisfied with the weapons that she had access to, and her gadget is fairly inconsistent. And so I'm really curious to see if this new operator is going to share that same fate. Now, as for her gadget, while they haven't given us any exact details, Ubisoft has dropped a couple of hints as to what it could be. And so, first of all, when we read this article, it starts off with her hacking into something. And so the first reaction to this is, oh, she's going to be the hacking operator that everyone has been requesting since the very beginning of Rainbow Six Siege. There's a lot of people that like the idea of having an offensive operator that can hack into enemy cameras because it sounds really cool conceptually. You're trying to figure out where someone's camping instead of having to drone into the room. Well, what if you had this guy that could hack into their own cameras that are scattered around the map and then use that information to your advantage? Now, for me personally, I've never really been a fan of this operator because it just rubs me the wrong way. The only way that defense would be able to deal with something like this is to shoot out their own cameras, and I don't really like that conceptually. On the flip side, if you do know that they're constantly running this new operator, all you need to do is shoot out your own cameras and you just made them obsolete. Now, some people might say, well, wait a second, if you get defense to shoot out all of their own cameras, they then can't use those cameras anymore, and so mission accomplished. Yeah, but you could have done that with Twitch drone, and Twitch drones do a lot more than just that. Like, Twitch then, of course, can proceed to take out all of the other gadgets that are scattered around the map, and not just those cameras. Another way this operator could work is that instead of switching cameras to the other side, they could hack into different gadgets, which could be a really great way at countering all of the trap operators in the game. You walk up to a Capcan trap, or even better, your drone does this functionality. You're in your drone, you're roaming around the map, you see a Legion or a Capcan trap, you hold down a button for a couple of seconds, and then it switches to your team, so that way, when defense runs on by, that Capcan trap explodes right in their face. Now, the one concern I have with this idea is that it could make a lot of the trap operators obsolete. I know some people might be excited by that news, But CanCan just got a buff. He's finally a little bit more viable now. He may not be the best operator in the game, but he's at least halfway decent now in his current states. This would be a pretty big kick in the shin to him. Now every single time you pass through one of these CanCan traps, you're gonna have to second guess yourself because you don't know if it's been switched to the offensive team. Unless they made it very obvious, hey, yeah, this CanCan trap has been switched, then this is just going to be really frustrating to deal with, and I would assume that his pick rate would plummet. Now, to make things even more complicated, at the very end of the article, they mention that her gadget is going to make her even more dangerous. However, her trickster streak, this ability or gadget, will also potentially get her killed. I have no idea what that could mean. I mean, maybe trickster streak is in reference to you're a trickster, you're trying to pull one over on the enemy, and so that could make sense with, you know, changing gadgets to your side, but how is that gonna be dangerous for you? Unless you physically need to see the gadget and go through like an animation or, you know, something like Jackal where it takes a couple of seconds, maybe that will leave you vulnerable and that's what you're referring to. But honestly, I have no idea how all of this is going to work out, and that last line has definitely thrown me for a loop. And so let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you have any ideas as to what her gadget could entail? Do you think we're on the right track with everything we just talked about? Also, are you excited about the weapon she's going to have access to, or are you kind of disappointed because you're not interested in those weapon types? Let me know down below in the comment section. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.